I guess it would help if I added us to the stream. Otherwise, it's kind of a useless thing. And there you are. It helps when I add the video to the stream. Anyway, you are super slow. I don't know if it's just me or not, but
I don't either. We'll see how it goes.
Yep. But we'll see how this goes. It's that kind of an episode, honestly. I am, of course, Greg Cherry alongside Jeff Meacham. And here's what's on the rundown for today's episode. On today's show, we're just going to talk about whatever we want. We're going to be straight up. We are going to just blather on for about half an hour or so. Yeah. Talking about whatever we want to talk about. It could be wrestling. It could be sports. It could be video games. It could be game shows. It could be stuff completely unrelated to all of that. We don't know. We're just going to do stream of consciousness for half an hour and see where it goes.
We are very much tallying the episode of stuff. We have no idea what's going on.
Yeah, it's not Vermont either. I thought I changed this.
Yeah, it's all right.
We did. It is a Botchamania. This entire episode would go on Botchamania so far.
Very much so. Very much so.
Louisiana. That's the state we're talking about. Right. I don't feel like we've done it, and if we have, it's been a long time ago. So,
right. And knowing Louisiana and New Orleans, they've probably come up with a bunch of new ones anyway. So
that's probably fair. Yeah. And of course, the Wednesday Q&A. We're still taking questions, even though. Who knows? Maybe we'll address them in our opening segment, which is we talk about whatever we want.
That's it.
So, what's up, Big Baller G? How you doing? Normally in the studio today, he's taking a sabbatical from on camera stuff for a little while. I don't blame him. Everybody needs that from time to time.
And you know what? I had said I was going to do that after WrestleMania. I need a break from May. Yeah, it didn't happen, obviously. So good on him for actually having the convictions and sticking with it. And you know what? He's planning a wedding. He's trying to get everything lined up, and you know how that goes firsthand. You've been there. I've been in the planning stages at least. I never got all the way through, but I know how it is. So good on him, man.
Absolutely. And just as a little bit of a sneak peek for this, we've already canned one episode of Jack of All Trades.
Yeah, buddy.
Next Thursday, we're doing the second one. So I'm excited about that. Got a couple interesting guests lined up for that one. I'm really excited because we're expanding a little bit past like the trivia mind aspect.
Right.
It's, again, more of a game show. So I'm really excited to see how it turns out and to see if anybody who becomes Jack of All Trades champion is going to challenge me for this championship right here in the future. You can't see because the microphone's blocking it. There it is. Look at that. Oh, it's cool.
Oh, yeah. There it is. I'm just enjoying the fact that everybody's out of the house, including the dog, except me. So I got a quiet house. Like, life is good right now. So
there you go.
Oh, man. It's so nice to be on the air and not have the cans on and have the microphone, screwing up 25,000 times. It's fantabulous.
Absolutely. And just for the record, I have it as both of us have it as the pinned comments. If you're watching on the YouTube channel for super chats, we'll read them out during the show. Right. I have my Streamlabs up in case any notifications come my way so I can read them.
Right.
If you send in a super chat, do it that way because YouTube takes forever to send in super chats. I'm not monetized on my channel yet. So Streamlabs is the only way to do that for yours truly.
Yeah. I've got both the links up on my pinned comments. So yeah. I said it every day that I've been on this week and every day I've been since we did. It's like you guys, I don't know if you guys really understand how important these donations are and how far they go. I mean, I got a $10 the other day from one of the fans, Josh, and it was able to, something to do with the show. I've made so many purchases the last few days because I've been able to have the money coming in, thank God. But every little bit you guys do helps, so we greatly appreciate any and all you can donate just to help our channels sustain and survive. The other channels we're affiliated with survive and sustain, and upgrade our stuff. Because, we do have pretty decent equipment nowadays, but there's never there's always something that we have. It's like, okay, restart or whatever because there's a glitch or something. So the donations are so helpful. So thank you all for those of you that have donated so far and will continue to do so in the future. Thank you very much.
Absolutely. And the funny thing is about Streamlabs, like, it takes out less money than YouTube does, and we get it like that. So
right,
that's another nice thing. It actually goes directly to us as opposed to going to the people at Google.
If you guys are, OCD about donating an exact dollar amount, you got to remember to donate a little bit over that amount to make sure we get the full .00 at the end. Because
I'm not even worried about that. Like any donation.
Not either. I'm not either myself, but I know somebody donated and it didn't go through the full. I think it was a 20 they donated, and it ended up being like 19 something because they didn't have because Streamlabs takes that little tax out. And he's like, oh, shit. He was all freaked out about it because he's so OCD about it. It wasn't the full 20. It's okay.
No, it's
tax on 69 cents or whatever. Yeah.
Honestly, fine.
Too
but
fun.
Daniel's saying, can't wait to see the Jack of all trades tournament play out. I can't wait to see the rest of it play out. Like I said, we recorded one match, which Big Baller G, go subscribe to his channel too, had so much fun recording it. It was a blast, and it was an incredible match on top of that. For the very first one to end up the way it did was absolutely fantastic. I couldn't ask for a better first episode, really.
That's definitely good to hear. I'm happy about it. That's awesome, man. Very cool. All I know is, we were talking earlier about, we're talking where we want, and you did mention the Stanley Cup playoffs or hockey playoffs in general. Yeah. I've been following. I also been following the minor leagues because our minor league team, the Ontario Reign, actually made the playoffs. And people have been razzing me. Oh, so the team that the Kings want to be. It's like, you know what? It's not my fault that the Kings roster. The core is, 10 years older than they were, so just leave me alone about it. We said a lot. About 2-3 years ago, give them about 3-4 years, and then the Kings will be not necessarily where they want to be, but way better off than they have been since the last Stanley Cup, because we've kind of declined here. I have a good feeling about next year. I do have a good feeling this year. About Vegas, about Toronto. I called that in September when the hockey season was supposed to start, and it kind of did what it did. I know Pittsburgh is still in, if I'm not mistaken. So they're always
just
a threat.
Beat the Islanders. The Penguins beat the Islanders last night to tie up the series. So
and that's the thing. Vegas lost game one. It was like, oh yeah, it's one game. They usually play 7 if they have to. So just. Trust me, as a Kings fan who sat through 3 Game 7 series for the second Stanley Cup and had to physically wrench my heart out of my throat after the Stanley Cup was over, one game is not the end of the road, y'all. So just, man, it's the longest 26 games. I said it on with Dad the other day, recording with Jay. The longest 26 games of my life, just 7, and then we got a 5-gamer with the Rangers. So I love that the playoffs are starting. I know the NBA playoffs started either yesterday or they're starting today. So if you basketball fans are out there, I know that it was a struggle for our guys to get in as far as the Lakers. Clippers seem to be doing well. So if you're a fan of sports, this is the best time of the year, man, because NBA's in the playoffs. The Stanley Cup playoffs are starting. Baseball is actually starting to mean something because it's post mid-May. So actually people should get about baseball at this point. So it's like, other than people that freak out on opening day, oh, they're going to be the greatest team. Okay, guys, it's first day.
Like that just doesn't happen. Especially, I kind of want to look at the standings. I know the standings really don't come into play of being important until after the All-Star break. But I just want to take a look here.
It's very much like people that freak out about the NHL or the NBA standings in October. It's like, y'all. Shut up. Just stop.
I know. I'm looking at the standings. My Yankees are in 4th place, but they're only a game and a half back of first. Right. Like, that's how close the AL East is.
Yeah. When Mikey came back from his hiatus after going to Tennessee and then doing the show again, we had the Dodgers, the Angels, the Reds, and the San Diego Padres all in first place in their respective divisions. we SoCal folks were like, ah! And of course, I'm a Reds fan from my family in Cincinnati, so we were freaking out. And then it's like, okay, it's April. And then within a week, the freaking Angels fell back to normal Angel status, and then and the Reds kind of did the same thing. So baseball, before, like you said, before the All-Star break, doesn't really. There's no reason to flip out, good or bad.
Right.
So
you said your team is the Reds, or is it the Dodgers?
Okay, officially my team is the Angels. And they always have been. I showed that picture of myself a while ago with my dad holding me in his arms with both of us wearing Angels caps. Mine's a little bit too big for my 6-month-old head or whatever. But, National League, it honestly has been the Dodgers. I grew up in a house where my mom just kind of didn't say a whole lot about the sports stuff. And my dad, who was born in Cincinnati, encouraged us to cheer for the Reds because of where he came from. But, even during the years between 88 and last year, the Dodgers were up and down. I found myself rooting for the Dodgers more and more. So it's I'll tell you this, it's definitely not the damn St. Louis Cardinals. Because between Cincinnati and Los Angeles, we don't like the Cardinals. It's certainly not Oakland.
I was going to say, unfortunately for you, the Cardinals are in first place in the NL Central, which seems to be par for the course every year. And also par for the course, the Pirates are in last place.
I know, fucking Pirates, I swear. So yeah, as I said, that one moment in time on Mikey's show where the Reds led the Central, the Dodgers were in first place, and the Angels and the Padres, it was like, what the hell world are we living in? What is going on? And then everything started to right itself right away. As far as the American League, very much the Angels. The Angels, like I said, it's definitely not Oakland. Can't stand them. And for the National League, we hate the Giants now because, with all due respect to my grandmother, I love you. We miss you. She's gone. I ain't for the Giants no more because Dodgers fault. So no. And to be fair, the Giants-Dodgers thing goes back to New York when they were both back there. So, that's been a franchise lifelong rivalry. So I'm never going to root for the Giants as long as I am rooted in LA and a Dodger fan. So
yeah, I don't blame you there.
And your situation, the Pirates. The Pirates have had so sporadic success that it's not unnatural to have had you see, the Yankees. Okay, they got a solid team. They almost always have a solid team every year. The thing I like about the Yankees is they are the respect of the league. The pinstripes are sharp. No facial hair on their players, which I love. I hate this whole thing in baseball about everybody growing their beards out now like it's a hockey playoff. It's like, guys. Have a little respect for the sport. Have a little class. You guys look like bums. So I love the Yankees are like, nope. Respect and class. That's how we're going to do. I've always admired that about the New York Yankees franchise.
I may have earlier before the show been watching a bunch of Jeter highlights. Like watching his last at bat, watching his 3,000 hit, which was a home run.
Of course.
I've been getting really into watching a bunch of Major League Baseball highlights.
I love it.
I don't know why, but it's just been a thing. It's like, man, I really do enjoy baseball. I just don't have the time to sit around and watch 162 games. The only way I'd be able to do that is if I was a professional baseball analyst. I wouldn't be able to do it otherwise.
Right. And the thing is, the ability to attend live is highly dependent on money, especially in the major markets. And B, with COVID right now, trying to get a situation where you yourself feel comfortable being there and the stadium's comfortable with capacity, right now it's crazy. So, and baseball watching it on TV, especially all 162 games, it's like, no, I'm not doing that. That's a lot of time.
Now, I don't know how it is for other stadiums, but, being from around Pittsburgh, PNC Park's opening to full capacity July 1st.
Oh, nice.
So I feel like that's going to happen around all of Major League Baseball, regardless of where they are, because, COVID restrictions are starting to be lifted.
Right.
And we're going to be resuming life as normal as we possibly can. But
I know
I'm really excited to see fans back right before the All-Star break. Again, the All-Star weekend is something I used to watch the Home Run Derby a lot more than I used to watch the actual All-Star game, because the Home Run Derby is just fun.
Yes.
But it's one of those things where I like to get into baseball, especially around playoff time.
Yeah,
because when you have a team in it, then you have something to root for.
Right. My issue this year with Home Run Derby is what's 6 to 8 weeks from now is past Home Run Derby Day, right?
I feel like it's mid-July, so it might be a little more out there.
Because Trout's hurt. It's like, so he won't be in Home Run Derby if he's hurt because he's not going to waste his, rehab coming back for the stupid Home Run Derby. So it's like, if he's not going to be there, it's like, I don't want to watch, because that I maintain, I will say that, I will die on the hill, I will debate whoever you want to debate. When he is on full on 100% of his game, there is no better player in baseball right now, or the last few years, or the coming few years than Mike Trout. So, I mean, the guy earned whatever obnoxious amount of money he earned from the Angels, and that big signing that he got last year, the year before. So he's the future. It was so funny to see, him kind of come back after becoming a father. He just picked up like nothing had happened. He was so great last year in what was the abbreviated season. And then this year, it's very funny because Albert Pujols left the Angels, and everybody's like, "Where's he gonna go? Is he gonna play anymore?" And the next couple of days, he's in Dodger blue. It's like, whoa. I mean, not only did he come from the Angels to the Dodgers, which separate leagues, not a big deal, but some people are like weird about that. He made his name as a Cardinal. So for one of the greatest Cardinals of all time to be a Dodger, it's like, oh shit, this will be good. So. Good stuff coming up in baseball, at least on our respective coasts. The other teams I don't pay attention too much to, just because I'm so focused on this stuff, and then trying to watch my own teams. It's crazy. So
I do want to interject. We do have a super chat here from Brett Storm. Thank you very much for that, Brett. And he says, thought I'd give a donation, as have definitely been enjoying what I've seen on the channel recently. Thank you. And I'm looking forward to my Jack of all trades match. Yes, he's in the match that's recording next Thursday. I'm really excited because Brett is one of those guys that I met through the Fan Quizlemania thing.
Nice.
And he and I actually we basically had a Montreal moment in one of our matches where it came down to the very last question, and the presenter screwed up the answer to the last question. And we were like neck and neck at that point. So it was like, man, like it was, it's nothing I hold against anybody involved in it. It's just one of those things where it's like, man, that sucks. Like it sucks if you win, it sucks if you lose, but it's one of those things that, man. Yeah. Curtis, again, thank you, Brett, for that.
Yeah, we appreciate it, Brett. Curtis put it best here about my guys. Trout's an MVP all the time. Angels, I would say subpar, below average. They've been so inconsistent with consistency. I mean, they've not stayed where they could have been. The amount of level of talent, the level of talent on that team is grossly understated and highly underutilized. And yeah, we had Socia at the helm, and that wasn't a good thing long term. He was starting to decline. He left, and now we're just kind of floundering in the wind here. Hopefully we can get somebody, because like I've always said, you can have the greatest superstar in the history of sports. Kings had Wayne Gretzky for almost 8 years, a full 8 years. And the farthest we got is the final that we botched everything. So, and when he asked himself, you know what, in February 96, like this isn't working. I need to go. So you can't have the greatest superstar in the game if you don't have a great support system and you're not winning divisions, winning championships, whatever the case may be. So, it's a team sport. I mean, they're all team sports we're talking about here. So, you can't have one guy shouldering everything. It doesn't work that way.
Yeah, it doesn't work that way. I mean, if that was the case, then LeBron James would have won.
Yeah.
Although I don't think LeBron James is I know he's with the Lakers right now. I don't know. Right. I honestly have no idea about the NBA, so I'm probably way out of line here.
So am I, for sure. Yes, definitely.
So, maybe I shouldn't even go down that rabbit hole, because it's like I have no idea what I'm talking about when it comes to the NBA. Pittsburgh doesn't have an NBA team. I used to root for the Knicks, and the Knicks have been terrible for God knows how long. So it's one of those things that's like, okay, I have no idea what I'm talking about, so I'm not even going to pretend like I'm an expert.
Well,
like
but
some
the thing is,
sports analysts.
right, I was never an expert on basketball, but when I was a hardcore watching basketball fan all the time, the Bulls were my team. They were perennially on top. The Lakers struggled post Showtime, but they were still in the hunt. The Knicks were good. The Jazz were good. Everybody had a decent, when and again, it's much like with Gretzky. When there's a superstar that transcends the sport, all the teams tend to pick up their game and have some sort of national awareness. I mean, completely random, transition here, but the fact that the Bulls and the Jazz were in the finals in 1998 and somebody from each team was involved in a WCW pay-per-view the following month. I mean, that's how much basketball transcended their own little world there, because you had the greatest, one of the greated players on each team. Karl Malone was the greatest, one of the greatest ever, period, end of sentence. But
the mailman, baby.
Rodman, I heard you say mailman, so I said Rodman. Rodman, one of the greatest rebounders in history, and, controversial figure, no question about it. You don't join the NWO without being a controversial person, period. So, and you don't, not go to practice instead of going to Nitro and whack out the pitch of the chair without being controversial. So, but that was how it was. The NBA Finals were 98. It was the Bulls and the Jazz, man. And then we end up have both guys in San Diego after the finals were over to wrestle on pay-per-view with WCW. Just a very weird time. But since then, I've very much fallen off. I follow LeBron because like Jordan, like Magic, LeBron's kind of come out of the I'm just a basketball player shell thing. He's a media personality, good or bad. He has won championships everywhere he's been. So there is that. He goes places and makes things happen. The Lakers became champions again last year. First time they've been champions since Kobe left Lakers. So, and again, there was a lot of talk about Kobe, good and bad, about how he neglected how to remember how to pass once he got out of juniors, because he didn't pass the ball. You know what? If you're Kobe Bryant and you're bringing championships to your team, you don't need to pass the ball. Just put something in the hoop. And
if you can make stuff happen, make it happen.
Yeah, and it's like, if the Larry O'Briens keep rolling in, don't break the that need to be fixed.
Yeah.
So anyway,
I almost wonder, like, with all the celebrities that were involved in WCW, especially during the 97, 98, do you think any of them will get inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame? Like, do you think Rodman would, Malone would, dare I say Jay Leno?
I definitely think Rodman is definitely in that discussion. You have to remember, Rodman participated 3 summers in a row. And the second summer, like I said, he purposely missed the practice of the NBA Finals to go to Nitro and help Hollywood take out DDP. Which is what brought Karl Malone in. So, and he's such a firestorm of controversy anyway. We all know Vince loves that. So, bringing him into the Hall of Fame as a celebrity inductee would definitely garner attention. It would definitely make people go. The thing is, when it comes to Hall of Fame, the last few weeks I've been thinking about this a lot. The Hall of Fame induction choices, I think a lot of times is Vince making people think and making people push against what they think is okay. Mm-hmm. Do I like Drew Carey as a WWE personality? Hell no, I don't. I think that his maybe 10 minutes on air time total does not warrant a Hall of Fame induction. But you know what? He brings eyeballs to the game. He is a multifaceted, multimedia personality. Why not? So, I talked about this. JJ and I recorded our dad's top 10 celebrity involved matches, which is going up in August. And we talk a lot, and we always do talk a lot. We talked about the Hall of Fame episode a few months ago about Cyndi Lauper and the fact that she's not. So, she should have been inductee number 1 of anybody. So I'll say that. But as far as the WWE folks, I think Rodman definitely deserves it. I'm not sure about Karl. I'm not saying I dislike Karl Malone. That is very untrue. I am a huge fan and much respect for Karl, but he was there for a grand total of a month and a half the whole time. So I don't know if that, but again, like I said, Drew Carey was there for, one night and one promo before. So, unfortunately, the Hall of Fame is very much a two-person system as far as selections. So if they both agree, then, it'll happen. Do I think personally Malone deserves it? No, I don't. And not a knock on him, just based on his interactions. Jay Leno, I would say yes, because not only did he get involved physically his own self, a lot of the Rodman stuff in '98 with Malone revolved around the Tonight Show. And the fact that Hogan and Bischoff took that show over, which was not done ever. Johnny Carson would not have stayed for that shit. There was no way that would have happened. So, again, I'm not knocking Jay. I'm just like, that's how big it was. It was like, oh my God, you've got these, the greatest wrestler of all time, and this, this little Ken doll, weatherman guy kicking Jay Leno off his set. Like, what the actual shit? So that's a David Arquette belongs in the Hall of Fame because of moment. Like, the freaking headlines the next day, you got Hogan and Bischoff on the set, and Bischoff's got his feet up on Jay Leno's desk. That's money, that's media, that's moment. So, yes, Jay Leno definitely deserves it.
I'm waiting for the RoboCop induction myself. Anyway,
RoboCop,
we're not going to go. We're not even. Yeah, we're not even going to touch that. It's early WCW at its.
I will say this: if they actually induct Ole Anderson, then RoboCop deserves it too. So there you go.
Yeah, the closest Ole or Benoit will ever get is the Four Horsemen induction in 2012. That is the closest there.
Right.
And quite frankly, maybe it's just me. I count Benoit as part of that because it's the Four Horsemen as a group. It's not just the specific guy. It's all of the Horsemen. So that includes like Benoit, Malenko, Mongo, Sid, Sting again. Paul Roma too. I mean, I guess he was there, but
well, here's how I see it, and this is more because I was there and actually got to see his original induction. Not during the 2012 one. You saw that one live.
Yeah, I saw that one.
But 2008, when Flair got inducted, it's not on any of the home videos. It was edited out of the live broadcast that night. Flair mentions Benoit.
Mm-hmm.
He actually did mention the Benoit troupe. He said his name maybe twice, but he did. So from my point of view, you're 100% correct that I feel the Horsemen as a 12-year unit definitely all, whether it's specifically stated or not, they're all there. They're just kind of under the surface. However, I counter your that means Paul Roma's in with that means Horace Hogan's in. That means Mike Jones Virgil is in. That means, all those guys from the NWO that we kind of just, they weren't really there in. So
I understand that, but as far as I'm concerned, if you are inducting the group, you're inducting everybody who was in it, which means Rick Rude is a part of the DX induction, which yes, he was inducted solo too, but Rick Rude was a part of that, which unfortunately also means that Hornswoggle was. But that also means that Stephanie and Tori were also, if you're going to include DX 2000.
I'm fine with those. Yeah, I'm fine with that.
So it is what it is. But I was going to throw out the Hart Foundation. Brett and the Anvil are in. So is the Bulldog, which he got his own individual.
Yes.
So is Pillman, and so is Owen Hart.
Right, and we've talked about that. And
technically, so is Jimmy Hart because he was the manager of the original Hart Foundation.
Absolutely.
Which would make him a two-time. But my personal opinion. So it's like if that's the closest Owen ever gets to getting inducted, and especially after watching the Dark Side of the Ring about Owen.
Oh man, I know.
Everybody's gonna have to live with that. Okay, it's not gonna happen otherwise.
Yeah, yeah, I would with the Horsemen. I honestly, I kind of tend to agree with Curtis here as far as the NWA versions, because once the Crockett territory was bought by Turner, and they kind of, I mean, because the Horsemen really, even in those early stages, the Crockett's kind of let Flair and Arn kind of, okay, here, you guys pick who you want, and we'll see what we can do. That's why Barry got in, because Barry had the look, Barry had the undeniable skill, and Barry had the right attitude, where if you tweaked his character just enough, he was an arrogant asshole son of a bitch, and it worked. They are the best Horsemen. I say that, and I'll die on it, man. Flair and Arn and Tully and Barry are the best four, for sure. Once you got past the early WCW days, and the booking kind of went out of whack, Sid Vicious, and again, I've had people that have met Sid and know Sid, and Sid is not the guy he was back in the 90s, when he was just full of his own stuff, because he'd been pumped up so much by the Office to be full of his own stuff. When I think about a Horseman, I think about, like Tully always said, the symbol, the standard of excellence. I don't see Sid as that. I definitely don't see Paul Roma as that. Let me not even glaze over that. Roma was lucky to have a job with either company for as long as he did. Because when you take away his undeniable look and his decent skill, what was his biggest claim to fame prior
Pretty
to
Wonderful? Oh,
well, you know what? No, you know what? It's funny you say that. I don't disagree with that. I don't. He and Orndorff were a fun team to watch. You hated them so much, you didn't care if the freaking American males beat them. Just somebody beat these guys and shut them up already, for real. That's how it was, man. I love that about Orndorff and Roma. But prior to WCW, his biggest claim to fame was not being Hercules in the Power and Glory team. Like, really.
yeah.
So
pretty much.
I totally agree with the fact that you couldn't get Tully, so you get Paul Roma. The shit. Like, where's the correlation there?
Are we not going to bring up the Young Stallions with him and Jimmy Powers, or no?
Well, I
for those that remember, we're going deep. We're going deep in the well here with them. Yeah. This is probably the most Paul Roma has been talked about on any show in the last 15 years.
For real, other than the Horseman DVD, which he got his own little segment there.
I stand by my statement.
Oh yeah, because Horseman DVD was 14 years ago, so you're right there. So yeah, the Young Stallions were a decent team, but again, they were never going to be tag team champions. They were never going to, be the fact that I'm watching old WCW stuff right now during this initial era here. So Jim Powers is all over Nitro because Teddy Long, prior to him popping the balloon, actually getting back down to referee weight again. He's out there, being the Godfather and, arguing with Nick Patrick, who's not in the NWO, but he is, but he's not, but he is, but he's not. And it's just such a fun time to watch. But again, Jimmy Powers, definitely had a little bit too much power pump, if you know what I mean, post Young Stallions. So, but yeah, Roma, I don't get. And then honestly, the only other selection the whole rest of the way after Sid, or after Roma, that really makes me just kind of was Mongo. But you know what? Mongo made it work, man. Mongo,
which I do want to say,
yes,
before we go to that, prayers go out to Steve Mongo McMichael,
yes,
deal with the ALS. Yeah. It's such a debilitating disease. Like,
seeing that picture with Flair and Mike Ditka and Mongo, and I think it was Paul McGuire was the fourth guy. It was like, ooh, that was rough. And then the picture of Flair and Mongo by themselves, where Mongo's just like this big. It's like, oh, it's ALS is no joke, man. Yeah, ALS is no joke. There is a reason that I was such a huge supporter of the Jerry Lewis Telethon every single year, without question. I didn't care what year it was. I saved part of my entire August and September allowances in grade school years, and that went to Labor Day Telethon every year. Because, man, ALS and the MDA, the whole MD family is just a bitch. So, yes, we are praying for Mongo. You know, it's one of those things where prayer only can go so far, but it's amazing how far it can go as far as allowing you to believe in your comfort of life with what you're dealing with. So we're praying for Steve for sure. He wasn't supposed to be as fun as he was to watch, as good as he ended up being. He was in LT's corner at WrestleMania. Good on you. So was Reggie White and, you know, whatever. He wasn't supposed to be a fun announcer on Nitro. He was supposed to he came off kind of shaky at the beginning, but he morphed into the role. He did well for a while. He wasn't supposed to be a long-term freaking wrestler, but man, that moment I will never. And you know what? I said this about commentary when it came to the NWO matches a year later. The commentary on that Great American Bash with Tony and Dusty, when Mongo made that move and Dusty's like losing his mind, no Mongo, and then the briefcase comes crashing down on Kevin Green. It's a moment in time.
Yep.
It's so cool to see. And then like Mongo was all about embracing the arrogance, man. He'd throw up the Super Bowl ring, like throw it out there on the TV every week, and Flair, and God, you know, Flair is just encouraging, enabling to be a obnoxious ass. It's like, oh, so good. So good. So
former United States champion Steve Mongo McMichael.
I was going to say former U.S. champion, and only lost the U.S. title because of freaking Kurt Hennig turning on the NWO, turning on the Horsemen. So, you know. And we should all thank Mongo because it was Mongo beating Jeff Jarrett that took Jeff Jarrett and the pajama pants attire out of WCW. So bravo for that in general. Yes.
Yeah. But anyway,
we don't the leads there. Yeah.
Yeah. So we're going to talk about some weird laws because that's what we do on this show. We talk about some of the weird laws, and today we're hitting up Louisiana. Let's see how many New Orleans ones are on here, but
just keep in mind, I now have a full bladder. I'm drinking this whole cup of water for the last 40 minutes, so please don't make me pee my pants too much.
Okay, well, I'm gonna let you get a drink and get it swallowed. I'm gonna take one myself before I get into this.
Because once you start reading these, it's over, and you know this. Everybody knows this.
Yep, no spit takes on this show.
I'll tell you a story about that afterwards. Go ahead.
Oh boy. Anyway, in Louisiana, fake wrestling matches are prohibited. That's the very first one. That's literally the first one I see.
Okay, so just 2 WrestleManias are shot.
So the streak is not over.
Yes.
Oh wait, Roman ended it. Damn it!
Son of a bitch. But
that makes it worse.
Right?
That almost makes it worse. If it was head of the table Roman, it would be fine. But
right.
It wasn't. It was Big Dog.
So the big moment in time where Dallas gets the NWO shirt and then drops the Outsiders, that's not allowed either. That's terrible.
DDP actually joined the NWO. That's what happened.
I'm okay with that. Totally okay with that. Right off the bat, good grief.
Spectators at a boxing match may not mock one of the contestants.
I feel that's a safety thing. I'm okay with that.
So you can't be like, you suck.
Yeah, you suck. Well, because the thing is, if you're anything like Jeff Meacham at a wrestling show, when you're 4 rows behind one of the participants' families, you're going to get your ass kicked if you start jeering too much. So
yeah, that's fair.
I love Curtis. That's right. That is exactly right. Bill Watts was an outlaw. He wasn't just a cowboy. He was an outlaw cowboy.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Too funny.
One could possibly land in jail for 20 years upon urinating in the city's water supply. Yeah. I'm fine with that one, too. That one is at least 20 because that's disgusting.
Yeah. I would say that's a for life offense personally. Yeah. No.
A law was passed with a specific intent of stating the punishment for stealing crawfish.
Oh. Well, I mean, in Louisiana, that's completely necessary and warranted. They love their crawfish down there, brother.
I guess so.
I got half of the food market freaking it's either crawfish or Cajun fried anything. So there you go. Curtis, you're wrong for that comment. Shame on you. Ban yourself.
Oh yeah, I just saw it. That's not. We're not putting that one on screen.
That's it. Yeah. That's it.
If you see it, you know.
That's right.
Persons can land in jail for up to 10 years for stealing an alligator.
Hey, okay. If you are able to actually steal an alligator from wherever you're stealing it from, part of me wants to jail you because you're a thief and you're an asshole. Part of me is like, because that's some balls.
That's some dumb. That's what that is.
It's very dumb to try to steal anything that big with that many teeth that can, chew you of your balls. So, whatever works for you, brother or sister.
It is a $500 fine to instruct a pizza delivery man to deliver a pizza to your friend without them knowing.
I actually like
$500?
Hey, they are not advocating any level of dickheadedness, man. If you're going to prank your friend with a pizza, you should have to pay for it.
I mean, if you're paying for the pizza, like if you're like gifting it to him as a friend, you shouldn't have to pay $500 fine for doing it. It's like, I didn't order a pizza. Well, it's paid for, so here you go.
Well, but think about it this way. What if the friend you're sending the pizza to has agoraphobia, doesn't want to go outside or open the door for anybody? You are totally having your friend have a conflict of conscience there. That's a terrible thing to do to somebody.
It really is.
Or send the pizza my way. I'll be like, here's a tip, and tell my friend thank you. But some people are weird.
The next one, running an abortion advertisement can land you in jail for a year.
That's one we're just gonna keep on going.
Yeah, it is illegal to rob a bank and then shoot at the bank teller with a water pistol.
Okay, so if I rob the bank and shoot him with a real bullet, is that legal? Like, where does the legality stop?
I would guess no. I figure that's an obvious law. But I just hate when I go into a bank with my super soaker and people freak out.
Well, first of all, whether it's a super soaker or whatever. If you have a water pistol in your pocket, you're carrying a concealed weapon, which is usually illegal in most states unless you have a license. And if you have a license for a concealed super soaker, you have issues we can't even get into it here on the Greg Cherry Show. What a face. This will be good.
Biting someone with your natural teeth is simple assault, while biting someone with your false teeth is aggravated assault.
So that would explain why my grandpa's. Never mind.
I mean,
okay. So are we talking false teeth like dentures? Or are we talking like
I would guess like false teeth or like implants or I don't know. I guess.
Again, Louisiana with their 2 in a row here make no sense.
Yeah.
There you go. Cody's actually in Louisiana right now. Weirdest law he's seen: illegal to tie your alligator to a fire hydrant. Well, I would hope so, because the alligator can destroy the fire hydrant because they're crazy. So
there'd be water spewing throughout all the streets.
Yeah.
But maybe the alligator wants to be tied up to the fire hydrant because then it's close to like him living in the water.
There you go. And if he wants to get back into habitat, we're not going to stop him for any reason. Or her.
I'm not reading that one because it's disgusting.
Damn.
Which now everybody's going to be like, what is it?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll tell you what. That one is going to be the last one read.
Okay.
Because it's that. And I'll leave it at that.
Oh my God. Must buy depends quickly.
One could land in jail for up to a year for making a false promise.
Oh, geez. Do not mess around with anybody. Then, wow,
Yeah.
whoa.
Honesty is the best policy in Louisiana.
Louisiana, that's right. In a city that calls themselves the Big Easy and has more parties almost than Vegas, you can't lie. Okay.
Yeah. I hope LSU tells their recruits, we probably won't win the SEC this year.
Get out, everybody.
I don't mind LSU. I just don't want Bama to win this stupid thing every year.
Oh, God, for real.
In Jefferson Parish, Louisiana,
Okay.
all garbage must be cooked before it can be fed to any hogs.
Oh, okay. I was like, how's the sentence going to end? What's going to happen? All garbage must be cooked. Wait, cooked? What?
Oh my gosh, there's more in just New Orleans than there are regular ones.
Oh, I'm not surprised.
So we're going to go with 5 from New Orleans, even though
geez.
there's like 15, 20.
Oh my God.
So first off, in New Orleans, Louisiana, horses may not be tied to a tree on a public highway.
I have many questions on this one comment alone. Why are there on the highway? Well, I mean, is there a freeway or is it a highway? And if you're on the freeway, why are you on a horse? And if you're on the freeway, why are you getting off your horse and tying it to a tree? And then are you going to walk the rest of the way? What are you doing?
Yeah. I have no idea.
What's that about? Jesus.
Also in New Orleans, TV reporters may not throw candy to the crowd during a parade.
I'm okay with that.
Really?
Yeah, because TV reporters are shady people. I've been trying to get people to to get, have quotes on the air they don't want to necessarily say. They're enabling their bribery. It's terrible. Now, I mean, during a parade, that's kind of pushing it, I guess. So.
Yeah, it seems weird. It's like, oh, hey, have some Milky Ways, and you're not allowed to do that.
Well, it depends. If you're offering candy and then you don't throw it, then you're having a false prophecy and you're going to jail. So, kind of.
Oh, yeah.
Be careful with that.
Yeah. Snakes are not allowed within 200 yards of the Mardi Gras parade route.
I am 100% okay with that.
I'm fine with that, too.
Yeah.
Sorry, Jake Roberts. You're not allowed.
Yeah, I mean, especially if the Mardi Gras route has low buildings and the women are on the balconies flashing, you don't want the snakes involved with that because that tends to be some very scary television. So,
also in New Orleans, chasing fish in a city park is against the law. How many fish are people chasing in a city park?
How deep are these waters in the city parks where a fish can't even be in there in the first place?
Yeah. Oh, and the final one from New Orleans, we still got a couple more from the rest of them. Condoms may not be thrown from parade floats during Mardi Gras.
Well,
see, do you know what kind of party goes on during Mardi Gras? They probably need the condoms.
I'm gonna say, man, if you're on the parade route to Mardi Gras, you need the candy and condoms, man. It has to be a thing. So, anyway, Jesus.
In Port Allen, Louisiana, no person may predict another's future.
Do they have any idea how many of those guys and girls are in Louisiana? Like, that's a whole business empire down there, man. All them freaking fortune tellers and seance folks, man. That's horrible.
Absolutely.
That's just mean.
In Sulphur, Louisiana, I would freaking hope so. It is illegal to have sex with a cow.
Okay, I have one question, then we can move on. Only a cow?
I have no words.
Oh, my God. What is up with you guys in the comment pool this week? Good Lord. Jesus.
Yeah. And finally, Rituals that involve the ingestion of blood, urine, or fecal matter are not allowed.
Yay, I'm okay with all that. That's it. Yeah. Good night.
Yeah.
That's it. We're done.
Oh boy.
Wow.
So that is the weird laws. My goodness. I have no words.
These weird laws just evolve into deeper and darker places every week with you and
I. You figure you gotta be done with these soon, right?
Yeah, well, I know we've been doing this show for more than 50 times, so we've got to be close. So,
I wonder if I haven't included the weird law thing for every Wednesday. I don't know.
Well, the thing is, I know when you started, you were doing 3 shows a week. You had specific layouts for each show, but the weird laws weren't always a thing. So,
right.
Yeah.
All right. So,
I'll go over it this week, and we'll try to figure out where we're done with it, and then we'll move into the Canadian provinces, which I know are funnier than hell because I got friends up in the Great White North, and some of their laws are like the shit. So,
Wednesday Q&A. Daniel asked the question: what WWE or AEW wrestler should be in the Saw franchise? Not my genre.
Right now, Karrion Kross and Scarlett. I mean, their personalities and their characters are very much lend themselves to horror. Again, I've never seen Saw. Not my cup of tea in the horror stuff. I've just but Karrion Kross and Scarlett definitely. On the AEW side, I mean, the Dark Order before Brody died, they were pretty dark. So, why not them? Because they're kind of overly comical to be involved with it now. Darby Allin definitely lends himself to that kind of stuff. So why
not? What are your thoughts on WrestleMania Backlash? I enjoyed the show, except for Miz and Priest. That was a completely the thing is, like, it seemed thrown together, and then once you added the zombies, which was just a movie plug for Batista's movie, the entire match seemed completely pointless. And to make it worse, Miz got injured. So it's like, really? Like, why?
Well,
why?
I said this on, I think it was on Tuesday. I said it may have been on Monday's Talk Wrestling. The match did what it was supposed to do. It got promotion for the movie. It was a cinematic match contained within the Thunderdome, which doesn't happen very often. And had Miz not got hurt, I was looking forward to seeing what we're going to see from the undead Mike Mizanin, because he got devoured by the zombies. I was crapping on it during the show, for sure. But, reflection and hindsight are a blessing and a burden. We've talked about that many times, you and I, over the years. Looking back on it, you go, okay, now we have an undead Miz. We have a zombie Miz. Where are they going to go with this? Yeah. But as you said, he tore his ACL 6 to 8 months. The only person that hates that more than the fans is Maurice.
Yeah.
Shit, he's going to be home for another year, bitch. So, guarantee baby number 3 next year. I'm telling you, it's going to happen.
Yeah. Thoughts on Ian Book's potential with the Saints, and were you guys disappointed Monday that the ending wasn't Cena or Keith Lee? It wasn't going to be Cena or Keith Lee. We knew it was going to be somebody on the current roster. I'm fine with Kofi if it leads to a feud with Kofi and Lashley, which, let's face it, Lashley's going to win when they face off for the title. That's fine. It's a different challenger. It makes it interesting. And maybe Drew can get out of the mix for a little bit. He's been in the WWE title mix for like a year and a half. He can take a step back. That's fine.
Definitely.
As far as Ian Book potential with the Saints, I think Ian Book has the potential to lead the Saints to success. I loved him at Notre Dame. I don't know what it was with like big time games though, that his performance, I don't know if it's necessarily on him or the offensive line not giving him enough time. But for whatever reason, and it was frustrating as hell as an Irish fan.
Oh yeah,
that big time games, Clemson game aside, like the Clemson game a couple days after my birthday. That game aside, because Ian Book played lights out that game. He was fantastic.
Yes, he did. Yes,
and it was a fantastic late birthday present for me. being the number one team in the nation.
Like you said, that hell week you got your belt and the 1,000-day celebration, and then they freaking win. They had that amazing game. It was a hell of a week. So
it was a couple weeks difference, but regardless, it was a great month. November was a great month for me. But yeah, I think he can do well if the Saints have a line. Ian Book should just fit right in like a glove. He's a great quarterback. I'm not surprised he was drafted.
No.
Loved him at Notre Dame. I'm interested to see more so what the quarterbacks at Notre Dame do this season without Ian Book, because Ian Book has been really Mr. Reliable in the last couple seasons. So it should be interesting to see how the Irish fare as opposed to how the Saints fare. I think the Saints will be fine in the NFC. They might even make a decent playoff run. So we'll see.
They had a decent run last year. So, if they're adding somebody like Ian, the sky's the limit if they just stick with the plan. As far as John or Keith Lee and it being Kofi, you guys remember, John's up in Vancouver filming his the Peacemaker TV show. He's not going to break protocol for a one-off, even if it is a pay-per-view program. Because then even still, coming from Canada, going back, you have to do protocols still. Not everything's all roses and sunshine on that front. Keith Lee, don't know, can't tell you. My thing with Kofi was this, and I saw this all over the Twitter machine Tuesday morning and Monday night. Kofi got completely dominated by Brock Lesnar. Aaron and I were there for it. And again, I'm not discounting Kofi's greatness. He's one of the best in recent memory. But for Kofi to not only stay with it with Lashley the entire match, but then beat him, from my money, and again, this is just my money, my opinion, whatever it's worth, that hurts the money of Lashley versus Lesnar.
I don't think it does, because Kofi did not beat Lashley clean. The end of the match, McIntyre interfered. Lashley was not beaten clean, and it was his first loss since January. And with it not being a clean loss, I don't think it hurts him.
Okay.
So, my opinion.
We'll see, because and again, you're probably not going to get Brock back until we get at least half or full capacity back fan wise. So we'll see how the crowd reacts once Lesnar does make that big return, and because he's going after Lashley, because he's not going to go to SmackDown and be up in Roman's face, at least not yet.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
Real quick, with the last couple questions, because we only got about a minute and a half left, so we're going to hit as many as we can in that time. Roy W. asked if we liked when the season for baseball was shorter. No.
Nope.
Okay. Pretty much sums it up.
Love it.
Let's see here. I know there was another one. This guy, how's your new job going? Good. I can't complain. What's the likelihood of Bobby versus Brock? Hopefully it's SummerSlam.
Yeah. If we get fans full capacity, SummerSlam or Survivor Series either one. Yeah.
And Mike D, how great would it be in Money in the Bank as the first event back with a full crowd? It will be the first pay-per-view back with a full crowd. And Edge wins the Money in the Bank briefcase. He would be the first person to win it 3 times.
I'd be okay with Edge having that ace in the hole again. I'd be okay with that.
I mean, he is the ultimate opportunist, so why not?
Yes.
All right, that is it for the questions. We thank you very much, Brett, for your donation earlier.
Yes.
Just refresh here real quick. And there's no set premiere date for WTC Jack of All Trades yet. Like I said, I want to get a couple canned, and because it's much harder to schedule 4 people to record a match than it is 2. So it's going to take some time, guys. We do have the first episode canned. The second episode will be taken care of next Thursday. So I'm really excited about the recording, especially the 4 people that I have for it. You've seen one of them on WTC before. The other ones you haven't. So nice. I'm really interested to see how it goes. But cool. Until next time, everybody go enjoy Dynamite. And we will see you guys next week. For Jeff Meacham, I am Greg Cherry. This is The Greg Cherry Show. And we'll see you next week right here on The Greg Cherry Show.